break out right here. It could break out because
Yeah,
it's just getting, to that. Yeah, it could break
it's
out.
yeah, just getting to that point. And this parabolic movement here, it usually returns what it seems to be doing is if we look at the higher time frame here, and then we'll jump over to the Nasdaq. I mean, just sideways and right here you've got that sideways movement again. So I'm just above taking a small risk on it falling back down from here. One, usually third time's the charm, and then it breaks down. If it breaks past there, then we'll start to look at it again. Didn't want to risk that much and give back that much of the competition, profit, even though that's probably the better area. Whipsaw, right? We can't help any kind of whipsaw. And it looks like we might get something like that. So we'll give it a little bit of room. Let's go over. Did you see that candle over to MNQ? 15
It's the
minute look
little
at
doji that's, all
oh
wick
this
here.
this right here.
And then, right. And I mean, I don't like all the stuff that's to the left of that. And then it creates, again, it's just wick, base, wick. So
Hmm.
would you consider that a valid zone or would you stay away from that zone?
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that I wouldn't rely on that. Just only because let's look at it. So this is really a drop base rally that broke through all the structure, but it didn't close, right?
Right,
It didn't close up here. And that's the only thing. So what it created was this huge range from here
right,
to here. So everything in here is going to be a little wonky, as far as choosing some kind of a zone. So it's like, okay, well, if we break above this close here, and then there's some
right.
kind of pullback. So I think I think what might happen today is we might get this, it might go right to here, test it. We're right in the middle, right? We're right in the middle of this huge range, if anything. And the 1 hour trend is extended, right? So this is wanting to break below the 50 simple moving average to recalculate now. And we know that it does that very well. Wow, look at
Oh,
that. That was crazy.
yeah.
Right at the open, get this massive drop here. I think there's going to be a lot of whipsaw with the Nasdaq today because of this crazy range, this wonkiness. Yeah. So I think it's going to decide, okay, well, we are in a high time frame supply zone. It broke a little bit through that. Is there some sort of reaction back down to what's below here? Here's that little area yesterday that it didn't quite hit, right?
Right,
This in here is the 15 minute. That's this thing right here. So what we can do is just look at our conditions. We've got uptrend, strong momentum, strong momentum. So if anything, we're looking for some reason to go long. We're looking for a reason, and we've got this situation here that, let me look at that. So this is the high time frame supply zone. We're in that. All the bodies of the candles are in that supply zone area. That's where value is stored. And then the wicks on the outside. Opening range is forming. Where is ADR? Not even miles away. So if the opening range forms inside of this, maybe we drop down to the 5. We wait for that 5-minute candle to close outside and be really cautious with it. We're on the micro. And I did notice that even though the rules say one contract, it's allowing you to. I think that's a mistake on the rules. It says one contract for the micro Nasdaq. Let me bring that up. It only says one contract for the micro Nasdaq, but I don't think that's correct. See, the ES is 2, full contract 1, and then this here. What is that all about? YM 1, micro 3. That makes sense. But Nasdaq, they're saying 1. And if you so the ES is two contracts. Micro ES is two contracts. So if you go to buy or whatever, buy, sell, whatever, see, it allows you to get one, it allows you to get two, three. It does. It allows you four. It allows you four contracts, but you can't go past four. So I think there's some mistake, and I don't want to get disqualified from the competition. I'm not sure what to do there. It is allowing us on the NASDAQ, see? It only allows us two. You can get one, you can get two. I don't want, if we win, I don't want them to disqualify me and be like, oh, nope, you used two contracts, you cheated. You do not get the $8,000 prize. Oh, really? Oh, Sarah is saying she tried two contracts yesterday and it just canceled the order. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Sarah. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I guess I don't know, maybe they're trying to, if you're gonna trade, then you might as well trade the full contract if it's just if it's just one contract, and or in a case like this, how's our crude oil trade doing? Not good. Still climbing slowly. So much whipsaw in crude oil. Don't want to give it more than that, and we'll see. Well, then if that's the case, let's see. Micro Bitcoin. Bitcoin is climbing. Micro Bitcoin climbing, hitting the previous day's high, breaking new highs, hit this high time frame demand zone. Now we're in a position to start looking for pullbacks to go long on Bitcoin, pulling into this rally-based rally. Crude oil 63 climbing. Yeah. All right, whatever. Not going to bet the farm on it. We are in that upward position, right? Looking to pull back to this area on micro Bitcoin. That's also rally base rally or drop base rally right here, right there. Pulling back. Interesting. It would have to pull back pretty deep. It would have to pull back pretty deep. Micro Bitcoin, I think that's 5, right? There's the Euro, Bitcoin 5. Previous day's close is right there. Previous day's close. All right. Does it just bounce off the 50 or does it go all the way to here? We don't know. We can only trade what we see. Can buy 5. It's relatively inexpensive. Will it pull back that much? I don't know. There's the full boat right there. We want it to catch though. We want this to catch and then go up right in line with that 89, right? I'm gonna leave it right there. See if anything happens with micro Bitcoin. We've got our stop loss in. Gold? Gold. Pulled to the upside, pulled back into our area here. Breaking through that supply zone here. Okay. Just sort of broke through, didn't, it's still trying to break through. Strong momentum on that 3-hour chart. Here we go. Strong momentum, still moving up. Gold moving up, which, does that mean NASDAQ will be pulling back? I don't know. But I do know we've got that 5089 crossover on the gold strategy, pulled right back into that area. Dang it, right there. It's so hard to look at everything all at once, but there you go. Drop down to the 5. There's your long right here. That's interesting. 1-hour chart. You got 16 minutes left on that candle. Is that the previous day? Where can we get in on? We don't want a reversal of this. We don't want a reversal of this 1-hour candle back down to here. We would just have to take some sort of entry on this blue candle and take a chance that it's going to rally. Go back to the 15 previous day's high, right? This is the micro gold. Oh, okay. I don't think it's going to come back all the way down to there. We don't want it to. We don't want that to completely reverse previous day's high. We'll see what happens there. Let's make sure that is the micro gold 2. Yeah. Two contracts, small risk on that. It's right where that partial target took place. Wow, look at that. That's where our long position was. That's where it entered, took some heat, and then took the partial target there. So now technically we're supposed to stay in this until you get another crossover to the downside there. Okay. So competition mode, guys, just competition mode, trying to use what we've got. Okay, opening range happened on NASDAQ and breaking out to the downside, right? With all that upward momentum. Where's this thing heading, right? Break into the downside, which means gold should be heading up. Crude oil hasn't stopped us out. Ugh, crude oil starting to drop. Crude oil starting to drop. Gold should be heading up. Okay. NASDAQ breaking to the downside. 5 minute chart. That 5 minute candle does look like it's going to close. Wow. Do we go for this again? It hasn't broken past. This demand zone is still holding. That demand zone is still holding. So you see, we were looking at this and we're like, we've got to be cautious, right? We've got to be cautious with this range. Let's box out the range again. And it ripped through it. It broke through the downside. It broke through the opening range and it broke through the range of those two candles. Will there be a close below? Starting to get a bounce. A lot of buyers in this area here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, yeah. Couple of layers, right? Here's your 15-minute demand that's holding sideways, consolidation. Couple of levels here. No direction really, right? Very difficult to get a fix on it. You have to really, when you start to see this type of consolidation, you've got to go to your supply and demand zones and not necessarily on the smaller time frames, right? The big picture supply and demand zones. What's the 1 hour? Yeah, see, 1 hour, 1 hour is wanting to break below the 50. That's what's going on here. Break below the 50, maybe re-engage with some of this for the move up. Does it break through this? I don't think so. I just know that the 1 hour trend must close below. It's got to close below the 50 somewhere. That we got taken out of something. Whoa. Oh, micro Bitcoin, long. Long micro Bitcoin, crude oil starting to work, gold not doing so great. So whatever starts working, we've got 3 trades on in the competition. Whatever stops working, we just close it out, cut the losses, right? And that's how we're managing that. This could be significant with crude oil. That was a pullback that I think a lot of people were waiting for. Micro Bitcoin pulling back. Let's go take a look. Here we go, right? Pulling back here. Where do we want to get in on this? Well, we want to get in where we see some structure. Go back to the 15. This is just a market edge, right? The real structure is down here. Previous day's low, that's going to be on the NASDAQ. That's going to be really expensive. I wouldn't want to keep that just sitting there, right? Wouldn't want to use go with the MNQ. Previous day's low, buy one. Let's see. It's really made up of these wonky looking candles here. Rally base rally. We're below that. I'm below this candle right here for structure. $176. I mean, that's a good risk. And why don't we front run that previous day's low just by a hair? And we'll see. All right, we'll see what's up. Dang, competition mode. 3 trades going. All right, let's take a look at gold. It is pulling back to this demand zone here. Put our strategy on there, 15-minute chart. I love looking at this. I love looking at that graph. Buy and hold. Bam, just totally outperforming buy and hold. Got into this a little late, right? That's a little late. We wanted this area. Now it's in the area that we really want. That would have been a nice area. Should have practiced a little more patience on that one. Because now we're just below this. Well, this is where all the buyers came in, and then, maybe it will catch, but that's right where we wanted it. We wanted the pullback into the 89, right? Pull back into the 89. We've got this rally base rally here. What? What just happened here? Micro Bitcoin. Okay, micro Bitcoin failed. Oh wow, micro Bitcoin quite a whipsaw, pulling back into that demand zone. 15-minute chart. I don't know. Was this a false breakout to the upside? We just ripped through. We're retesting this area here. Previous day's low. I don't know if I want to, keep taking shots at it. We can only trade what we see. Gold. All right, we'll see if gold works out and continues up. Crude oil. Right, crude oil's kind of hovering there. We don't use the gold strategy on crude oil. So it's interesting. This is a good experiment, right? We're experimenting, taking trades, on everything here in the competition, taking small bets on positions that we see might be, worth taking, or do we throw all that out the window and just stick with our NASDAQ trade, which is what we did in the last competition and finalized, top 8%. Wowie zowie. Why do we want to deviate from that, So yeah, this is a good experiment. So we'll keep it that way. We'll keep, looking for opportunities, but it's a good experiment to say, hey, if this was my live account, would I want to be jumping around all these symbols, looking for supply and demand zones, looking for breakouts, or do we just stick to one strategy, one symbol where we have a ton of data on? It's a very good experiment to go through. These are the observations that you have to make, right? And you can only work through that assessment if you put yourself in competition, if you trade in the simulator, or under pressure in a prop trading account, So there's got to be a little bit of skin in the game to really feel the effects of what you're putting yourself through. And that's super important. That's very, very important stuff. I'm not putting myself in a compromising position by taking this trade here, right? If this was, like, let's just put it all the way up here, you've got to understand, yes, it's $100,000 account. And yes, that would be less, that would be 1%, of my $100,000 account on a $3,000 account, you're putting yourself in a real compromising position by doing something like that, right? So there we are. It's not gonna destroy me, right? What I did here was I took the 886 retracement level, right? Here's 50%, pulled back 50%. Here's a drop-based drop. It went through that. Here's the very last, rally-based drop. It just peeked through it and then started dropping, and I took that 886 retracement, hoping that the drop will take place there. Where am I here? There we go. Okay, putting it above there. Above structure, a little room to peek through. We don't want to go through that previous day's high. Hopefully we get the move out on crude oil. NASDAQ, what's going on? All right, we are down here waiting. 5 minute, 5 minute. Okay, 5 minute did break to the downside, so that means perhaps a deeper pullback. It sure worked yesterday. Bear trap worked yesterday. Will it work today? I think we're 176. It's the cheapest trade that we have on. It is the least expensive trade we have on. I don't know. This is a very mysterious demand zone. It's like so elusive. It's like it hit here. No, didn't want it. Just missed it here. Who knows? Could be a lot of buyers sitting there. Gold. It did. It came back down, hit that zone. Dang it. Little too quick on the draw there. Little expensive now, right? Because we took one loss. Little expensive. Hitting that previous day's close. This is where gold left the building. Retesting. Broke through. Sellers are coming back in, retesting again. Hopefully we don't break below that. I'm not going to risk more than that because that means if it breaks through this candle here, we're probably going to go lower. Maybe it wants this. we'll never know. So we've got to just keep the stop loss just below the structure of that handle where all the buyers came in. A lot of buyers came in there. Boom. And as soon as we got in, completely reversed. Wow. Not good. Oh well. Oh well. Wanting to go deeper. So that is the risk that you take when you are, trading a whole bunch of symbols here. So two of those small little bets did not work out and ate up our profit, right? Ate up some of our winning profit there. Come on, crude oil. So you can see how you can give everything back by trading this today, and then this tomorrow. And so again, it's proving that sticking with asset, one asset class and one strategy that you have back tested data on, it's the better way to go, isn't it? It is the much better way to go. Day number 4 of the competition, we have 2 scratched knees, right? Our knees are scratched. We kind of fell on our knees. That's okay. Very easy to get back because we didn't make it a disaster. Couple of small losses that did not work out on gold and micro Bitcoin. And we are in competition mode here. So we really want to take some extra chances to make more money. Wouldn't be doing that on the live account or your funded prop trading account. That's for sure. NASDAQ not looking good for some sort of trade, right? Because we're in this, it's already 10 o'clock and look at what's happened here, right? We've just done very little. Very disappointed about gold. Gold has dropped deeper, pulled in, started to leave, and no, right? It did not catch what we wanted it to catch. Broke through that. Which one does it want? Drop base rally, drop base rally. Which one? So you can see maybe a tight stop. Very difficult to be correct within a little tiny zone area. Little bit more of a stop loss. If we were taking this zone, here's the structure, probably a better area to get in. Now it's starting to reverse. So again, if there's no strategy and you're just looking at supply and demand zones, it's a great way to get chopped up. Great way to get chopped up. You really need to be looking at 3 time frames. Where's momentum here? Up, momentum's up, trend is up. Where are we pulling back to? Looks like this 50 simple moving average on the 1-hour chart. There's your demand zones. If it hits, great. If it does not, then you just simply miss the trade. Still, right? Legitimate area to take a chance on. How many chances do we want to take before we give back a whole bunch of profit? Take a look here. Micro Bitcoin, what is going on? Micro Bitcoin, just why is Bitcoin plummeting? Wants to continue that downtrend, right? Little false breakout, and then crude oil kind of going sideways, trying to make a decision here. And maybe we'll focus on this here for now. Let's get rid of the gold strategy. And we are basically just looking at a sideways movement, which is the 3-hour here. That's what we're looking at. Looks like it broke just above, didn't it? Broke just above there. And we've got this mini sideways thing going now, don't we? 3-hour chart. Let's hope we can survive that. That's what we want to survive. And we'll see. We shall see. Big move is all the way down to here, isn't it? Little gap up right here. Competition. This is a safe area, right? Safe area. Another 3 grand. We need every dollar we can get in competition. I'm not sure what these other people are doing. Some people have like $20,000 on the board already. Just day 4. Let's take a look. We probably dropped down a little bit. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. We got 24 days to come in first place, guys. We lost a little bit, right? We're in the top 7%. Sherwin Toms, 27,000. J Trader, 25. Wow, a lot of people have got, how many people are in this competition? Like 40,000. 40,000 people, right? 41,000 people, and we're in 2,000 place. Okay, so we're in the top 7%. We slipped a little bit. I bet if we left everything alone, we'd still be in the top four, but we're not taking ridiculous risks. We're taking legitimate stuff. So this little drop, this 2% or 3% drop, is due to taking trades outside of a optimized strategy, and there you go. That's what happens. But what in the world? What are these guys doing? Chad Sun says just time and price, nothing else. But yet he has no ideas, no ideas. 73 people watching. This guy has two ideas. You would think that these guys would have, let's see how many ideas Mr. Juliano has here. 97. 97. This Chris Juliano guy, he seems to be pretty passionate about trading and what he does. But these guys who are in first place, they don't seem to have any idea. No ideas, no ideas, no ideas. Two ideas, zero, zero. Oh, 118. This guy seems legit. Okay, Alex Gold Hunter. Let's check out Alex Gold Hunter. We'll give him a follow. Let's go check out Alex Gold Hunter here. All right, there you go. That's a gold spot. He does write-ups. See, this seems legit. This seems legit, doesn't it? He's put the work in. Okay, so obviously Alex Gold Hunter joined relatively early. Also on X. Let's check out his YouTube. Only 162 subscribers. Okay, we've got 411 or so. So I've got a more robust, I've got more of a following on my YouTube channel than he does. But let's see, gold forecast, live analysis 2 months ago. Okay, all right. He doesn't seem to be doing a lot of work on the YouTube channel. Any shorts? A few. All right, so that's how you find some people. Maybe I'll connect with this guy and interview him. Let's try to interview Mr. Alex Goldhunter. That's a cool name. Alex Goldhunter. Okay. Let's go back to the competition here. Super Charts. See if we can interview Mr. Goldhunter. All right, let's see if we can make back that profit on this crude oil trade. Now, if we were trying to go long on crude oil because of the uptrend on the 3-hour chart, very strong momentum, right? These are all our conditions are met to go long on crude oil, but crude oil doesn't seem to like a momentum trend following system. Where would we be going long? Probably right here, rally base rally, right? This is where we'd be going long, but it just seems to violate all that. This is the 1-hour chart. Let me get over to the 15. Here's the consolidation on the 15. It pulls back and then oops. Oh, look at that, guys. 15-minute chart. Hey, this is good. 15-minute chart on crude oil has just become extended inside of the supply zone. That is a very good sign. That means we need some sort of pullback really deep, like down below the 50. All right, so maybe we get some move. Maybe we get 5 waves to the downside, maybe 5 waves to the downside, which, puts us back in that lower area here. So here's all this very slow sort of move on crude oil. Maybe we start breaking back down. Extended trend, just saw that. Candles just started to become colored. Blue candles, little $300 risk on this. Would be nice to have multiple contracts. If we were on the damn micro, we'd be able to scale out. We're allowed 10 contracts on the micro, and now we're in this thing. Let's go over to the micro crude. That is 10. Let's try to figure this out. There's the full stop, right? There's the full range of this. I think it would be worth. Look at that. Went all the way to there. Okay, maybe we get some pullback, and then we can start scaling out. 1030 coming up on 1030 now. Sarah and Eddie, you hanging in there? Sideways price action with all of this. All right. Well, let's just hope it rips to the downside for us. Whoa, competition mode. Sticking with that crude oil. Okay. So we're kind of taking a zone entry here, right, guys? That's like a zone entry. Crude futures rise after report. Trump Xi call. Market talk. What are they talking about? Oil prices gained 1% in the afternoon. Trade after Chinese state media reported U.S. President Trump spoke with Chinese leader Xi. Brent crude oil is up 1.5%. Yeah, we noticed. Escalating trade tensions between the world's two largest economies have stoked fears of recession. See, fears of recession and dampened oil demand expectations in recent months, adding pressure to crude markets. However, room for further price increases remains limited due to continued uncertainty over the future of trade talks. Meanwhile, concerns over the softening demand outlook and express supply continue to weigh on sentiment following a larger than expected build in U.S. gasoline and diesel inventories, and reports that Saudi Arabia is seeking another big production increase. Okay. I don't know what any of that is going to actually mean to the market or do. All I know is that I see structure here. This is a sideways movement with crude oil, and it is respecting supply and demand. And here's the visual interpretation, what we just read. Okay, so this to me makes more sense than that news article. And it's a nice swing trade. We don't have to be out of this trade in a day for the competition. We can just let it do whatever it's going to do. This little spike up here was definitely due to some, due to some news. It brought it right back. It's being absorbed and should go right back to business. I mean, just look at the swing here, right? It moves, crude oil moves all the way up and rips all the way back down to its origin, all the way up, all the way back down to its origin. And it's just moving sideways like that. Where are you going to catch the trend in this? Very difficult. You'd have to catch the trend within this leg up, catch the trend within the leg down, catch the trend within the leg up. So, and look at how short these legs are, right? This little leg up, by the time it gets up to here and all your conditions are met, it's coming all the way back down. And by the time it comes all the way back down and you're saying, oh, it's time to go short, it's going back up. So that is something that you have to be aware of. You have to know what it looks like and how to handle it, right? This is a sideways price action, right? This is sideways price action here. There's your supply zone, there's your demand zone, and you're taking a risk on the opposite ends. And that's really all it is. That's all that it is. And maybe it does it a few more times, we don't know. So we've got one contract of crude oil on, really like the area that we're in, but we are just above, right? We're just above that area. Go back to the full contract, right? We kind of placed our stop loss right above that candle, right above that 3-hour candle. And we said, okay, that's the new high for the day. Where's this thing going to go? And hopefully we just start making our way back down. Now with one contract on there, what I want to do is get risk-free, but because of the swing, I really want to get risk-free when we start to break below this, right? Then we come in and we put our, we drag this down and we just follow it candle by candle. Maybe we follow it every 3-hour candle all the way down for as far as it'll go, because we only have one contract. That's really the best way to follow price if you have one contract. A little $280 risk, and right, that's where we're at on the 3-hour. Let's go back, see what's going on with NASDAQ. Yeah, so we identified this crazy sideways action here. We drew a couple of lines and we said, you know what, that's probably really going to be what it's going to look like today. And then if it does break down to this zone, right, we've got our demand zone waiting down there. $176 risk, right? It pulls back, catches, and holds this demand zone, which is on the 15-minute chart, I believe, and extended, right? 1-hour trend is extended. We were waiting for it to break below. It's still trying to break below to recalculate. And then we've got it ready. Right, we've got it ready right here for the 15-minute chart right there. Giving it a little room, right? Giving it a little room below that swing candle, and that's where I'm just going to leave it. Right. So 10:30, guys. I think that's it for me today. That's a lesson. So the lesson today really is we've got this awesome strategy that we use on the NASDAQ. It works. It's very effective. It does a great job for us. It makes us a lot of money and keeps us in the top 10% of the competition and is doing very well on the prop trading account as well. If you jump around too much, you may give back profit if you jump around to different symbols, and that's the perfect example. And we learned that because we put ourselves in under the pressure, for competition. So very good. Good lesson. All right, Eddie, see you tomorrow. Sarah, I will see you as well. And that's it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Great day. Great job, guys.